Good morning and welcome to Shallow Farm. I want you to come in and relax because this is a morning that you've probably got so many things to do, especially you women. You should be getting up and getting ready to go to Woods Grove this morning. It starts at 9:15. We'll have breakfast together. We'll be able to sit around the table, have fellowship, enjoy one another, and then we'll be able to, at 10 o'clock, break the Word of God together, fellowship in the Word, encouraging each other in the Word of God, and to be renewed and refreshed and revived in our spirit. God has a special word for us ladies today, and it is that He is going to bring beauty from our ashes. You know, whatever happened to us or whatever we're going through or what challenges we face, it's not over. God does something good. He turns those things around for us. And so God has an anointed word for you, and God has big things and good things for you today. So please, women, please come out and see me. Our books will be there. Our new books are going to be there for you to purchase. Also, Jessie Ree will be there. My daughter and my granddaughter, Peyton Summer, they'll have their crafts there, and we'll be able to purchase that. Thank you for coming out. I'm going to thank you in advance. You be praying for me today that I'll be obedient to God. And to all the women who have worked so hard. They were sending me pictures last night of the beautiful tables that we're going to be sitting there and banqueting in God's love. Thank you for just the invitation and for everything you've done to get me there and my family there today, and all of our friends from Facebook. I'm glad that you're going to be showing up, and other people in the surrounding area. God bless you for that. I want to talk to you today about something that happens to us so often, and that is that we find out what our true colors are when we are in the waiting process. When God has promised us something or He has spoke a word over us, we are sitting there waiting for it to happen, and we begin to see what's inside of us. I think sometimes God allows us to sit in the waiting time and in that waiting period to see really what's inside of us and show us what our needs are, and to show us where we are impatient. When we are impatient in the waiting time, it brings on fear. And the fear comes because what happens is it could have come from our childhood, where our parents or grandparents or family members promised us something and gave us vows of something that was going to happen, and it never came to pass. I wasn't raised that way. My parents raised me that whatever they promised and whatever they said, they came through. So I had that security. But where my impatience and fear come from in the waiting period is because as an adult, you know, broken promises, broken vows, deception, lies. It caused me to not be able to trust and to depend on a promise. And so that affected how it was with me and my relationship with God. That I would think, God, you're just not going to come through. You're just not going to do it because, you know, what someone else did to me caused disappointment. I'm sure some of you guys are going through the very same thing. But you can have fear, and the enemy uses that as a tool against you, as he did with Adam and Eve. He went to Eve and he said, did God really say? Isn't that what the enemy does to us? Did God really say this to you, Phyllis? Is this really the truth? Is this really going to happen? And I want to tell you something. Whatever you hurry up and rush to out of impatience, you're going to have to feed it. And sometimes that it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can't afford to feed it. But if you wait on God, and God has promised it, and He comes through, He will provide in that promise, in that waiting period. Do we want Ishmael, or do we want a Isaac? Because Ishmael was forced into being out of impatience because Sarah and Abraham couldn't have a child. And so it was forced. And look what it did and the chaos that it brought. Or do you want a promise to come to pass like Isaac? That choice is up to you. You either want it or you force it into being. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want to dare want that to happen. When you feel unsafe in the waiting process, guess what? You become a target. The enemy uses that and brings all kinds of stuff. Why don't you do this? And if you did that and you can make that happen. No, really, you could, but you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay dearly for it. But if you wait on God in the waiting process, God will bring about something good for you. It is your choice. It is your choice. I have pushed the hands of God. I have forced the hands of God, and I have done things on my own, and it was with great, great regrets, and I couldn't reverse it, and it took a long time to fix those things. But when I have waited on God, and I have just depended on Him, and thinking, God, you know the timing, you know how you've got to get people together in on it, you know how you're going to have to position everything, and God, I've just got to wait for it. The older I get, the more I wait, because I'm telling you, I've learned some valuable lessons, and I'm sure you have too. So today, I don't want you to feel threatened that some things God has promised to you isn't going to come to pass. It will come to pass. It will. But I don't want you to act out of impatience. I don't want you to act out of fear. I don't want you to cause yourself to go into anxiousness because something isn't happening. There's a timing in God, and it's a perfect timing in God. It doesn't mean it's not going to come to pass. And, sometimes, a delay, it doesn't mean it's a denial. It's just a delay. And so don't get ourselves in a mess, because I want to tell you something. When we act out of impatience, when we act out of fear and anxiousness, it begins to spill over on our children. It spills over in the things that we're involved in the things that we touch. And so we don't want to do that. We want to ask God today to give us the patience. And you say, oh no, don't you dare pray for that for me. Yeah, you want to be patient in your waiting. And you know what? God doesn't come to you rushing in a race. He doesn't come to you in a panic to bring you your promise. No, He comes in peace. And if you don't have peace in your life in the middle of your waiting, then wait until peace comes, because you'll be so impatient you will go do something that you will totally regret. You don't want to do that. So when you are in the middle of waiting for your promise, waiting for your prayer to be answered, waiting for truth to come forth, you want to make sure that you have peace. If you don't have peace and it's restlessness and you're sleepless and it affects your appetite and it causes all things to happen and dysfunction in your body and in your home and in your environment and in your emotions and in your attitude, something's wrong. And that's when you need to wait and get a pure, clean answer from God. God, what is going on? Show me what you're trying to speak. Listen, you have a wonderful day, and this girl's praying for you. And if you need me, you know how to get up with me. You can private message, text, whatever. I don't want you out there floundering. I don't want you out there struggling when you've got someone here that believes in you and that knows that, you're going to come through this time. God bless you, and I'll see you at Woods Grove.